I'm never going back. Going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Get it that I'm never going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Get it that I'm never going. I get to it off the runway. Different incomes, not one way. Living life on a one way. I knew this would happen someday. You can ask my day one day. Cloudy days turn to sun rays. Only way to way up way. Know my way, know my feng shui. I get to it first, I got you mad. I get sad when I get to it last. Get it, then I'm never going back. Get
All right,
it,
what's
then I'm
going on,
never
y'all?
going back.
CGA back in the building. Once again, we're back in here with another message. And the message is today is basically resetting your life and overcoming a little bit of adversity, overcoming any challenge that you might have in your life. And I'm going to tell a story that I've told 100 times. So if you follow me for years, you've heard this story, but now you're going to see another representation of it. The story is taking 2 steps backwards in order to get forward, in order to jump over the hurdle that you need to get over. I lived in my car. I'm not ashamed to say it. And I'm happy to tell you that I actually made that decision in my life to reset the direction that I was going. It's not going the way I wanted to do. And I found out in my mid-30s that I needed to travel a different path. I wanted to go a different way. In order to do that, I had to lose a lot of things. I had to give up the things that made me comfortable. That's just how it is. So I'm going to tell you this story of how I overcame that and how you can overcome that if you're watching me and you need a source of inspiration on how to change the direction of your life. This is the story. Let's get it. All right, let's talk about resetting your life. This is a hard thing for people to do, is to take their life from where they're going, get their education, do their career and their job, and then face a little bit of adversity and then reset their life. So what people will do is they'll keep continuing on the same track. And if that track leads to failure, they never really adjust and they stay on the path of failure. All right, so the next 5 years or 10 years will be more failure and more for them to overcome. Let me show you something right here. So this place, as you can see, my 911, this place right here is where I decided to reset my life. I restarted everything from scratch. I left my career, unfortunately, lost my family in the process, and I started my own business. This is the principle of the other thing that I tell you. There's no deficit that you can never overcome. In this lot, I used to park my car for 6 months. That's over 180 days. I parked my car there, and that was my home. That was where I lived in my car. It was a Ford Explorer. It was a wonderful thing. It was a great experience, but I chose this place because it's pretty secluded. All right, there's not a lot of traffic around here. It's a hotel parking lot, and it also had free Wi-Fi. So that was one of the reasons why I stayed here. And I can use my iPad and my phone to basically do researches or anything. Like I could keep track of my clients, and I could watch movies on my iPad for free. Other hotel parking lot, they had secured Wi-Fi, so I couldn't park in their parking lot. Let's walk over here. So during the day, when I started my training business, this place was empty like this. Not a lot of people were parking a hotel parking lot during the day, but at night, it was completely full. So if I had a break during the day, I would come back here, relax. If it was nighttime, I would have to beat everybody back here for a spot to park in. And so I would park right there, and I would get my sleeping bag, put down the 3rd row, and I would sleep there every night. All right, and my goal in that entire time, I was manifesting this car. I knew I would have it. I was like, I'm gonna manifest prosperity. I'm gonna manifest success. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because I believe in the reset of my life. I believe that I'm gonna start a business and I'm gonna be successful at it. And so far, so good. But I like the idea of teaching people that there's no deficit that you can overcome. There's nothing that you have in your life, no failure, no economic condition, no lack of understanding, no lack of information that you can't overcome in this life. So this is what I like to do. I like to take the place that I am in my life, come back and take a point where I'm successful, and then I erase the past that was the failure. So I used to park right here in my car, and now I'm going to take my new car of where I am, and I'm going to erase all of that by parking it right there. And now I have the success replacing the past failure, replacing the lowest point of my life. Okay, this is a high point of my life, and of course, I can always go backwards, but I never will. The first point of this is you got to know what you want. You really have to know what you want. If you're going to hem and haw and you're not going to develop your life plan, you're going to mess up. Don't let other people tell you where you should be going. You have to have a clear indication of what you want. That's going to be the secret. Now, check this out. How masculine do I look drinking? That don't look too masculine, but it tastes good. All right, so we're at this park here. I don't even know what the name of the park is. I should have known what the name of the park is, but we're in Costa Mesa, California, and this is the place where I prepared food for the week so I can eat. All right, we'll take you to the gas station probably another time. But what I did in this park, and over the years, it's changed quite a bit. They used to have an overhang here and some barbecues. They had open barbecues that you can use, but I brought a little hibachi and that I kept in a storage unit when it was time to prepare my food. So on Sundays, I would go to the grocery store and I would get chicken breast, I would get 2 New York strip steaks, and then Hillshire Farm sausages, all right? And my treat was the steaks. And so what I would do is I would buy all that meat, I would come here, and I would light up my grill, and I would have charcoal and all that stuff that I would buy, and then I would cook all of that food for the week. And I had plastic containers and silverware, and I would cook the meat, chop it all up right here, and put it in separate containers for the week. So that was my food all the way through, and I had to make that useful. I had to make that last. And then there was an Asian a restaurant over here that I would buy rice. Either I would buy rice from the store and cook it in the microwave, or I would buy rice. And so I ate chicken and rice, all right? Or chicken breast, steak, and a little bit of sausage and rice. And so I would make all of that here. And this has changed quite a bit. They actually refurbished the playground because there's a lot of homeless people here. And I was always on guard because I had this little hibachi down on the floor, and I was cooking all this food, and a lot of homeless people would be around me looking at me like I always thought they were gonna steal my food. So what I would do is then I would have a cooler, and I had put that in the back of the Ford Explorer, and I kept it back there. And I would take ice from hotels. I would drive around hotels every day. I would dump out the water, and then I would fill up the hotel-free ice. That's how I kept my food from getting spoiled. So, look, people ask me, was I homeless? And I say, no, I was without a home, and I was doing something called 2 steps back in order to go 2 steps forward. And this was just a thing that I decided to do. I always tell people, when I tell this story, I don't want you to believe that I was completely down and out. I don't want people to believe that I had nowhere to go. I could possibly have slept on someone's couch. But I didn't want to take that path because I know I would have been there for 2 years. I wouldn't have had no sense of wanting to get better because I had comfort, and I wanted to be uncomfortable in this reset. I wasn't homeless. I was without a house. I was taking 2 steps backwards in order to go forward, greatly resetting my life. And this is one of the first times in like 8 years that I've been back here in a place where I actually used to prepare my food for about 6 months. So, man, it brings back some good memories, and I'm glad they cleaned it up because now I can stand here and not feel like I'm gonna get, beat up for my food like that. So this was about 10 years ago. It was less than 10 years ago that I was in this spot right here. But I want you to check this out. What has changed in the last 10 years? All of these bushes right here, I used to be able to walk through this because on the other side of it, it's like a trash can over there. And if it was late at night and I had to piss, I would either have to wait till somebody pulled in the parking lot to open that door so I can run and get to the bathroom. But if nobody showed up, I used to go on the other side of that trash can and piss. But those are the stories, man, that you remember. I remember all of that stuff. So when you see a person in a successful position and they finally got there, you might think that they had advantages, they had opportunities that you didn't have. But in reality, there's a lot of people that have had success and they really overcame a lot of things that people aren't willing to overcome.